Willie D Live.
We speak about how many fights we want to have or how we want to be busy, but we're not in control of that. And I ain't gonna lie to you, Will. Even to this day, when I sit down and watch fights, my thing is like, man, I should come back and become the oldest to win a world title. What, like pretty much what George Foreman did, and then the next day, a couple of days go by, I be thinking about it. I'm like, man, I've been blessed by the best. Why would I go back and do that? I got all my faculties, and think about it, man. They got Ali was crazy, man. Ali was talking about Joe Frazier. He thought, he got some fighters you can't understand. Will some of them, man, they got a lot of fighters sleeping on the street, man, and just it's sad. And one of the things I don't want to just be noted for being a boxer, a world champion boxer. I want to be noted for making the change. Putting some business structure in place to take care of fighters. Think about the NFL, the NBA, the National Baseball League, Soccer League. They got business structures. Like if those guys been in that league or played for so long, they get a check for the rest of their life. See, boxing don't have nothing like that. And we got a lot of work to do with boxing, and I want to be a part of it. They should have something, and think about it. Boxing is a real world sport. Like the NFL, how can you can't say you're the world champion in the NBA or NFL. You're not playing everybody all over the world. Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
Huh.
Yeah, you never thought about that, huh?
No, I hadn't.
Yeah, but boxing is the first sport. They started with bare knuckles in, I think, the late 1800s. And, man, these fighters, man, think about this. Some of those fights, man, would you believe this, Will? The judges, the timekeepers, the referees, the commentators. Sometimes you watching two guys in there with their life and health on the line. And those guys are making more money than the two guys in there who got their life on the line.
That's cool.
That's reality, bro. But it's reality. It's real.
Well, you got to work your way up. You want to get to the money. You want to make more money than the commentators.
Oh, absolutely. But that's what makes it so hard because, say you're a fighter, you done put in all this work, you done put in these fights. Now you're in a position to go out there and make $5-10 million in a fight. I mean, you can't just stop and say, okay, well, I'm not gonna fight because it makes it hard, man, for fighters to come together and put this stuff together. But we got to figure this out, man.
Well, let's say you're speaking before the United States Congress on a boxing pension. And so what do you say to your representatives, all of these congressmen and women that you're standing before? How do you argue your case for the fighters out there?
It's a beautiful thing you brought that up because the state of California had that. And I still have a pension in California. And if a state can do it, why come this nation can't do it, or why come the world can't do it? When it comes to two guys in there putting their life and health on the line.
So what do you tell your state reps? I'm one of the state reps. You speaking right now. TV cameras everywhere. All the people in here, all the decision makers, the people who can make the decision, who can make it happen. Talk to me. What do you say?
Well, I would first say I would like to have a meeting with Sheila Jackson Lee or whoever those.
Sheila busy. You can't talk to Sheila. Get out of here.
Yeah, she real.
What else you got?
But I would like to probably put something together and have them take a look at it and see how can we change the ultimate sport of boxing. How can we take care of these fighters? Look at Jerry McCullough. I talk to his sister all the time, and I be hearing him in the background, man. And even that brings tears to my eyes, man.
I think one of the most compelling arguments is to actually show and prove. If you show a tape, video of fighters like Gerald McCullough, who gave so much to the sport, he gave it all. I mean, you're talking about a hard hitter. He entertained a lot of people.
I'll tell you another guy from Puerto Rico, the great Wilfred Benitez. He's same situation like Gerald. His people taking care of him.
I thought Wilfred Benitez died.
No.
He's still alive.
No.
Okay.
I think he's still alive. It's just his people taking care of him.
Man, I saw Iran Barkley a while back. It's like maybe over 20 years ago. And so this is shortly after he had retired.
Wow, 20 years ago.
Yeah, this is like 20 years ago, man. And I saw him in New York at a fight in New York. I think it was a Roy Jones fight. But I called his name. I was standing behind him, and I called his name. And he had to turn his whole body to see me. He didn't just like turn around, like turn his neck, or turn his head around. He's just like, he had to turn around his whole body.
Are you serious?
And he said, it was in slow motion too.
Wow.
He said, "What's up, Willie D?"
Man,
And it was another reminder. Hey, that boxing, it ain't no joke. You can go in that ring. It's one of the few sports that you can actually go into the ring and know that you can die. You may not come out the same when you go in that ring. It's a good chance. It ain't like it's a chance. There's a good chance you're not gonna come out the same.
So we can't really even say that boxing is a sport. Boxing is the only sport that you can't play. You can't play boxing.
Huh. Can't play boxing.
Can't play boxing. And now, of course, we gotta add that MMA thing, because that's brutal too. What they doing now with the MMA.
Right.
You can't. Them two games you can't play, man. You can't play that. You can play football. Yeah, you got somebody to pass the ball to, the basketball to, throw the baseball to the second base or something, but you can't throw them gloves to nobody. I mean, you got to stick with them and you got to get it done or get done.
Yeah. Who's the hardest puncher you ever fought?
Well, that guy Jorge Castro, who I fought twice in Argentina, he was heavy-handed. It's like that guy we should have had his gloves checked, and I fought him 2 times in Argentina. That guy was hard, but my skills set enabled me to, catch those hard punches and make him miss a lot of punches. But if you make me pick somebody, you got to understand, speed generates power. And if you asking me that question, who was the hardest to ever hit you, it's got to be when you was hurt the most in a fight. And that's Roy Jones Jr., the best fighter of our era.
So you
was at that fight too.
Yeah, I was at that.
That 1-2 punch. Now that first fight, it was a knockdown, but it wasn't hard. I was like slipped too. I was off balance. Mm-hmm. But that second punch, I didn't see. The punch that you don't see, speed generates. Oh yeah. And that's the thing about it. The beautiful thing about it is when you say that's the one that hurt, you don't feel no pain. Well, I didn't feel no. I can only speak for I didn't feel no pain. I just, when everything came back to me, I was on the ground. It was just so fast,
Yeah. That's the thing about boxing. It's like, you can get knocked out and not feel any pain, but in that moment, your equilibrium is off, and you got to go down. I don't care what you thinking. You got to go and lay down for a minute.
And then, like you said, and then after the fight, you had the pain. Yeah, you gonna have a little pain or something. But I mean, the most pain I ever had after a fight, and I had 52 pro fights, is when in those 2 fights, I tore my rotator cuffs in 2 different fights.
You were 47-7-1.
Huh?
You were 47. You were
42. 44-7. 44-7-1.
44-7-1.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And and I always let people know.
That's a solid career. That's a Hall of Fame worthy career. If you consider the people that you fought James Toney, you fought Steve Collins. These are all world champions. You fought Steve Collins. You fought Roy Jones.
Antonio Tarver.
Antonio Tarver.
Yeah.
And you fought somebody.
Jorge Castro in Argentina twice.
Wow, Castro twice. Wow,
and
that was big.
And John David Jackson.
And you fought Lamar Parks, although Lamar was not a champion.
But
Lamar was on his way. He was 25 and 0.
He was the favorite to win that fight.
27 and 0.
Yeah.
He was favored to win.
He was signed with Madison Square Garden.
25 knockouts out of 27 fights.
Yeah.
He was that dude, and you gave him his only loss.
Yeah. Yeah.